Hello, it's Ren Amory, and this isn't exactly the video that I intended to post this weekend, but thought I would talk a little bit about my experience with self-publishing my books through Kindle Direct Publishing, which for the most part has been a really positive experience. But sometimes there's glitches, and today is one of those days with a glitch. So, I'm going to have a beverage, just a beverage. It's almost 5 o'clock. Wow. You'd think as a former bartender I would know better than to pour straight into a glass, but it's been a while. I have published 7 books so far, including the summer edition. I have them all here in order. So the first book was in autumn of 2022. Like so, you can see it's one of the proof copies. And then after that, we have a winter of 22-23. And then we have spring of 23. And then I was not able to get a summer edition out for the summer of 2023 for reasons. There's another video on the channel. It's the one that says hashtag chat for me, chat with me. But in the autumn of 2024, I just barely got out the autumn 2023 edition. Sorry, I said that wrong. In part because I had already made the autumn edition the year before, and so it was a matter of an update as opposed to creating an entirely new season. I just changed some parts of it, and some parts of it stay the same. In particular, the beginning section, the first 22 pages, 21 or 22 pages, they change a little, but for the most part, it's just sort of instructions and an introduction to the whole concept of the Book of Days. And then I update for the season itself, and I update the monthly pages that are in there to match the correct dates. So I did get out the autumn 2023 edition, and I got out the winter 2023 edition, same thing, and I got out the spring 2024. I keep saying the dates wrong. I'm sorry. So, but yes, this is the 7th book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's the first summer edition. So I was pretty excited about it. And when it arrived today, it has a printing error, and it's kind of a big deal. As you can see, it starts with page 1, or I'm sorry, page 2. And all of the other books start with page 0, actually. You see that? Page 0. And on the back of the first page, just a little intro welcome note. And then on the back, that's page 1. I've got a little monitor down here that I can see a little bit better to make sure that you can see the numbering. And this is the part where, I start the introduction to the book. And then page 2 continues that introduction. And in the Summer Book of Days, the whole book starts, at least in my copy, with page 2. So I had a little panic attack, small one, because I've kind of learned that in the great scheme of things, this isn't the end of the world. It's not great, and I am a perfectionist, and so I really don't like glitches. Who does? And I feel bad that at least it's very possible that other people will get misprinted books too. After my small panic attack, I immediately got on the phone, got online, tried to figure out how to contact KDP's customer service, Kindle Direct Publishing. And I was pleased that it did not take long for them to actually call me back. I had to, basically put myself in a queue to receive a phone call back. And the woman who I spoke to was nice, not particularly helpful. It turns out that, I had immediately checked to make sure that the part that I had uploaded to the site was correct, and it was. It was not an error on my end. This is simply a printing error. And once she ascertained that, she said, well, then you just need to contact Amazon just the way you ordered it and tell them you want a replacement book. And I explained, but wouldn't that be basically me registering a complaint against my own product? And she said, well, you didn't make the mistake, which she didn't confirm. I had sent her a couple of screenshots showing that this is what the book actually came to me as, and this is what the upload site shows. So I don't know. She took my photographic evidence as proof that there was no error on my end. And she said, well, that's out of our hands. With a book that was just ordered the same way you would order the book, which I do intentionally. I want to experience the same experience that you have. Plus, it's one more sale. It's good for my numbers to have a sale. It's a drop in the bucket, but it helps. Anyway, she said, just call them and ask for, tell them it's wrong and ask for a new copy. So I got off the phone with her and started digging into forums and communities for KDP authors, and pretty much came to the realization that there's a chance that I am the only one who got this misprint. There is a chance that in all of the other books that I have ordered and seen and reviewed, my copies were fine and other people got misprinted copies. Now, no one's ever complained of such a thing, but it's possible, and that's hard. That is hard for a control freak. So, I am going to make it right the best way I know how, which is on my website, my webpage, which is bitawitchybooks.com. I'll put that on the screen here somewhere. I will make a printable, downloadable first and second page. I'll size it so that it's, so that you can cut it out to fit exactly in the book. I think I'll figure out how to do that. And then it can just sort of be inserted in the front cover, because I don't know how else to fix it in the event that someone else got the problem. But I guess this is my way of saying, if you ever run into a printing problem, or even a problem that I actually messed up, which is totally possible, please contact me. I will do my best to, provide you with a printable or something like that, that fixes the problem. And yeah, I guess if there's a problem like this on your end, go ahead and contact Amazon and tell them there's a problem. I'd appreciate it if you didn't leave a bad review for something that's out of my control, but I understand that may happen eventually, especially as, the audience for the book grows bigger. It's just a little sobering. When it comes to KDP publishing, on the one hand, you have complete and utter control. I design every page. There is no automated anything. When I create a book, I am creating pages that are intentionally meant to go across from each other. This is why I can't do an ebook edition, because depending on the size of your reader, it's going to resize the pages and you're not going to see it in two-face spreads the way it's designed. So I design everything. I design exactly how far apart the lines are, how dark the lines are on the journal pages, which, by the way, are college ruled. I measured and made sure at the very beginning, because I don't like it when the lines are too wide or too narrow. The lines in the journal section of the Book of Days are college ruled, like any notebook, and so close, as close as I could get it. I think there's a little tiny bit of variation in what does college ruled mean, depending on the publisher, Mead, or whatever else publishes blank notebooks. But anyway, so I have control over not only the content, the words, and the images that I choose to insert onto the pages, but exactly where they're placed and exactly how when I write the essays, they're just, I think of them as essays for the season, I have a couple of pages to work with. And so I frequently have to write and rewrite those essays to make sure that the word count will stay within the bounds of the one page that I want it on, which is challenging. It's a good exercise for a writer because it makes you be very succinct and deliberate about your word choices, your sentence lengths, etc., etc. So, on the one hand, I have ultimate and complete control and responsibility. On the other hand, to Amazon, to Kindle Direct Publishing, I am nobody. They literally are publishing thousands and thousands of books a day, and there is nobody watching it. The process of having a book approved is also automated for the in large part. This was made clear to me because when you publish with KDP, you have to choose whether you're publishing a low content book or a book. And low content is reserved for, like the first book that I ever published, the Book of Appreciation. That, to me, is an absolutely fair low content book. I'll get it and I'll show you. The first book that I ever published, the book that I used to sort of test out how Kindle Direct Publishing worked, was the Book of Appreciation. I actually published it with, this is the very first one, and its illustrations theme is daisies and morning glories. And then I published it in 2 other covers with similar content, very similar content, except the illustrations inside are witchy, like you would find in the Book of Days. So brooms and cauldrons and crystals and that sort of thing. But the content is very, very similar. And you can see I got all of these in proof editions because I wanted to make sure that they were all correct. Over the years, I stopped ordering proofs because it was just an additional expense for me, and I wanted books that didn't have the proof line. But the reason I bring them out is because this is a low content book. I absolutely agree. This is a low content book. I'm looking for the one that doesn't have a lot of writing in it. So here's an example. It has a pocket, because all of my books have pockets. And it has a little introduction that explains what appreciation is versus gratitude and encourages certain ways how to use the book. And that's literally just 4 pages long. And then it turns into a line journal. And on most of the pages in the line journal, there's a little prompt or a little illustration. Let's see, find an illustration here. Like so. So on most pages, there's a prompt, sometimes an illustration. And this, to me, is a low content book. That's completely fair. A low content book on KDP means that you do not get an ISBN number. You get instead an AIS number, I think is what it is, or ASI. And when you go to look at a book on Amazon, there's always the picture of the cover of the book. And for most books, there's a way for you to click on that and then kind of see the inside of the book for a certain period. There's a sample available so you can see what it looks like. The reason I think that there is a difference between the low content category and the regular category is because too many people misused that feature. Too many people published books similar to my my book of appreciation, or even with less content. Literally, they just would make pretty covers and then fill it with, sort of lined pages and call it a book and sell it. And you can still find those books, simple, plain, blank journals that have the look inside feature. Because in the beginning, before I got into publishing with KDP, apparently they didn't make a distinction. And they haven't changed any of those listings, which it's annoying because, yeah, you get the preview and it's just page after page of blank lines. But I'm fine with not having a preview available for my low content book. It's fair. It would be nice if people could see some of the illustrations that I chose and some of the prompts that are in the book, but I understand why the rule has to be that way. However, I am forced to publish this book with all of its content as low content because it has the word journal in its title. It's a journal. And the last 60 pages of the book are absolutely a blank journal. That's by design. But everything prior to that is, I would say, quite a bit more than a journal. It is what it says it is. It has the journal in the back. It has the planner in the middle, which is all the dated pages with the months and the charts and the domain pages. And that's also where the logging can happen. And the grimoire, that happens toward the beginning of the book, where first I explain some basic sort of witchy principles, nature-based, time-based principles. And then there's space specifically carved out for you to be able to use that section and plan your season. To me, that doesn't feel like a low-content book. And I asked the representative, as long as I had her on the phone today, after she was unable to help me with the misprint, I said, oh, okay, well then perhaps you can help me with this other issue that I have, in that, this book that I publish, which has a great deal of content in it, keeps being published as low content. Even if I try and submit it as a regular book, I will get a little email back saying, nope, this is low content. And she says, yep, she just said, yep, that's the deal. So, though one of my books, some person must have seen it at some point. It was actually this one, the first winter book. Apparently some human laid eyes on it and decided that it was not low content, even though I had submitted it as such because I had learned by then that I just had to submit as low content. That person sent me an email saying, this isn't low content. Okay. So for one book, for one season, I did have the look inside available. It was nice, but apparently there's nothing I can do about that either. So that's what I can tell you about KDP. And I'm going to try and cobble together some sort of short video out of this. All that said, KDP is amazing. I think a lot of people abused it and tried to use it as a get-rich-quick scheme. The side hustle became very, very common, and there's a lot of bad books out there. However, Amazon made it possible for me at basically no cost for the publishing process for me to get my book out there. Now, it's on me to, get the word out, but every once in a while, one of my books will, get somewhere in the upper, 50 of a bestseller on a niche list, and that feels nice. And I suspect that means that once it sells that much, then the algorithm at Amazon probably offers it up as a suggestion, and so over time, Amazon will help me gain more of an audience. And I do appreciate having as much control as I do. and I will make peace with what I don't have control over. I should add a portion of this video here, which is a little bit more about the nitty-gritty. Now, I do not have my computer open in front of me, so I'm doing this from memory. But I will tell you, if you're here just looking to understand how does KDP work. You create the manuscript, you create the cover, you upload it to the KDP website. There is an automated process that you get walked through for all the pieces and parts that you need to be able to put together in order for them to approve the book. That includes the copy that's on the Amazon listing. You write that, and like I said, you create your cover. You can do that at the Amazon website, which I've never done. I use Canva. I use Canva to make the entire book. I do pay for Canva, but Amazon costs me nothing. There's no option for me to pay more to get some sort of preferential treatment on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. As far as I can tell, everybody's treated the same. So you create all of your content, you enter it in or upload it to this dashboard that you have as an account in KDP, right to including how much you want to charge for the book. They have a previewer there so you can virtually flip through the book and make sure that everything is exactly right, because obviously there's no editor looking at this to catch errors. I know that because I have made errors in past books. There's been a couple errors, typos, whatever. That's on me. My bad completely. There's no one there to catch it for you. But you have an opportunity to really look at the details of what you've uploaded, and then you say publish it, and then it says, all right, how much do you want to charge for this? And you decide. They take 60% of your cost, your price, the price that you put on your book, plus printing costs. So in the end, I've not done the math because quite honestly, I don't want to be disheartened. I make, depending on the book that I am publishing, I make somewhere between $250 and, well, even less than that when I put the books of days on sale. About halfway through the season, they go on sale so that people can get a sample of them, because it doesn't really cost me anything to do that. I don't make a profit when I do that, but it doesn't cost me anything. And it allows people to see if they like it and see if they'd be willing to pay the cover price of $16 for the book of days to get it in advance of the season starting, so that you could work through all of the seasonal stuff ahead of time and get each of your months set up as much as you want to. So when I publish something, right now I make somewhere between nothing and I think it's $4.80, I think, for a full price book of days is what I make. It might be a little more than that, but it also might be a little less. However, they ship it. I don't have any shipping costs. They print it. I don't have any printing costs except for, I don't pay them anything. They just pay me a small portion of the cover price. And I guess that's fair. It's a better deal than I could find most other places. That's the nitty-gritty of the business part of how it works, as far as I understand it, without reviewing and doing math. I have a date with a friend tonight to sit on the patio and have some more beverage, which I am ready for. And I'll be editing this late tonight and posting it tomorrow on Friday. I'm hoping to do a Tuesday video this coming week, a Tarot Tuesday video. I've got like multiple topics I want to address. So I'm hoping to get one of those out. And I will also post next Friday the video that I intended to post this Friday, which is about making pockets in the Book of Days. So I bid you a good night and a good weekend, and I hope to see you again soon.